Hey bosses. As you can see, it's cold weather season over here. I'm cold. And my voice is a little like in and out because it's one of those things where it's like you wake up in the morning, it's 40 degrees. By afternoon, it's like 70, 80 degrees. By evening, it's back down in the 60s again. So it's what happens to me when that weather starts changing, when I just like get congested and feel like I'm in a constant brain fog with this cold, but eventually it will pass. I hope you are not in a place that it happens to you too. But anyway, I wanted to hop on here real quick and talk to y'all about your email marketing tools that you use and how you are tracking leads that are coming into your email database. So this conversation started from yesterday where I was talking to one of my teams and we were talking about how do we effectively track leads that are coming in from beginning to end, and end being like when they make a purchase or when they opt into something else. But I'm going to keep it in my perspective or for the clients who I work with their marketing systems. One of the things that I love to do, and if you're like a type A person like me, you probably do the same thing, is when we have leads coming into a system, if they're coming in from a campaign or an opt-in or event, is the way that we tag them in our system, right? So in our systems, and I do it in mine too, the way that I tag them when they're coming in is, and I wrote it down, so I'm going to pull up my sheet here in a second, but is by event name or the opt-in name, the month, the 3-digit month, and the 4-digit year. Now, you might have a system that might have some character limits, so you might have to cut down on yours, but that's a good, effective way to know, okay, when this lead came in, they opted in or they came to this event or webinar. This was the month that they came in. This was the year. And I'll show you. Try to figure out what I did with my marker. So this is what it would look like in your system if you were tagging. So, for example, if I have like these PM resources that I have on my site, if somebody opted into that, it would say their tag in my system would say PM resources October 2023. If I was doing a campaign specifically to drive traffic to this opt-in. Now, if I'm not doing a campaign specifically to drive to the opt-in, then they won't have the year, but it would say PM resources. So I know that that's how they came into my system. Now, just checking to make sure y'all can see everything that I'm seeing. If you have a system that has like character limits, because some systems have character limits for your tagging, so you might want to cut it down. Like if this is too long in your system, you might want to cut it down to something like PM res October 2023, or even you might want to cut down the 20 and just put 23. The thing that you need to remember to do is to document how you are naming your email tags in your system, because you don't want to be the only one that understands what that tag means. And especially if you're bringing in people who are going to work with you in a team, they need to understand what those tags mean and how your tagging system works. So you need to have it documented as something like this, where it says, every time we have creating an opt-in or an event and we're adding new tags to our system, that's the naming convention. Event or opt-in name, month, and year. And if you have to like cut it down for whatever reason, make sure those details are in the description or the document that you're using to manage your email tags. The other thing that I wanted to mention was, because I know some of you are like, well, what happens if I'm in a system that I only are allowed to have like a certain number of tags? I haven't ran into that problem so far in MailerLite. My clients who use Kartra, I don't think we've run into that problem yet. Some of my clients who have Active Campaign, they've run into that problem, but the other tools that I use, I haven't run into it yet. But if you are running into a problem where you don't have enough space in your system to have over a certain number of tags, here's another thing that you can do, which is introducing like an archiving process. So, for example, let's say every 3 to 5 years. That's a good number. Every 3 to 5 years, you're going to have somebody who goes into, well, they're going to have to check it at the end of every year, depending on what the year is. So again, it goes back to that documentation. But every 3 to 5 years, somebody's going to go in and clean up my tags. And what clean up my tags means is that, let's say what is this, 2023, so 2026 and 2026, anybody that came in from 2023 and before who has this tag, right? We're going to move them now to an archive tag. So it's no longer going to say October 2023. We'll get rid of this. And now there'll be like a PFRes archive tag. So they'll have that tag. So that reduces the number of tags you have because you're deleting or getting rid of the ones that came from years before. Because at that point, if they've been in your system now for like 3 to 5 years, you may not care so much when they downloaded this option or came to this event years ago, because they probably don't even remember that they came to that event like 3 years or whatever. So include an archiving system in your processes. If you also have that problem of, Lavelle, I only have like 25 tags or something. I'm making that number up because if they only have 25 tags, you need a new system. But I can have a certain number of tags in my system, so I need to clean up tags regularly. Just implement an archiving system. Okay? So I just want to hop on here real quick to talk about your tagging name, your naming conventions in your email marketing tool. Let me know if you use a naming convention in your system. Or what email marketing tool that you're using. Because right now I'm in MailerLite. I love MailerLite. But I have clients who use Kartra, ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, Kajabi. And I just dropped my marker. So that means it's time to hop off here. So let me know what email marketing tool that you're using and that you love. And I hope this has helped somebody who is trying to organize their tags or their email database and the leads that they have coming in and tracking them. If you have questions about any of this, drop them in the chat and I'll do another video to follow up on those questions. All right, y'all.